Hey, and welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into a skill that can honestly change your career and even just make your everyday conversations better. It's the art of logical speaking. We're going to talk about how to take that complete jumble of thoughts in your head and turn it into something clear, confident, and, well, persuasive. Let's get right to it.
You know the feeling, right? You're in a big meeting, maybe a job interview, heck, even just telling a story to your friends, and the pressure just hits. And all those brilliant points you had lined up in your mind, poof, they either vanish completely or come out as this tangled, confusing mess. It is so frustrating, but I promise you, it is not a life sentence.
Okay, so here is the single most important idea we're going to talk about today. So many of us think that great speakers are just born that way, that it's some kind of natural talent. But that is a total myth. Logical thinking, which is really the foundation of clear speech, it's a muscle. And just like any other muscle, you can train it, you can strengthen it, and you can make it work for you whenever you need it.
All right, Section 1, the communication maze. Because before we can talk about the fix, we really have to get a handle on the problem itself. Why do our thoughts get so tangled up in the first place?
So, what's really going on in those high-pressure moments? Look, it has nothing to do with how smart you are. It's actually just your brain's natural fight-or-flight response kicking in. And that response totally disrupts the calm, straight-line thinking you need for structured speech. The key is just recognizing this for what it is. It's not some personal failing. It's a completely universal human reaction that we can learn to manage.
Okay, on to Section 2, your logic toolkit. Enough about the problem, right? Let's get into the solutions. This part is all about giving you a personal logic toolkit, 3 really simple but really powerful frameworks you can use to structure your thoughts on the fly and, you guessed it, speak with total clarity. First up, we have the golden 3-point rule. Think of this as your emergency lever for clarity. Whatever the topic, just force yourself to come up with 3 points. 3 reasons, 3 benefits, 3 steps. Why 3? Well, it's a number that just feels complete and structured, right? But it's also small enough that you can actually manage it in the moment. So somebody asks you why you like your job. Don't just say, oh, it's good. Give them 3 reasons. I have a great team, the work is challenging, and the coffee is actually decent. See? Instantly, you sound more thoughtful and organized.
Okay, let's build on that. To create a really complete, persuasive argument from scratch, you can use the what, why, how framework. First, you start with your what. That's your main point. Something like, we should all read more books. Simple enough. Then, you back it up with your why, and here's where you use our golden 3 rule again. Because it expands our worldview, it improves our focus, and it reduces stress. And finally, you make it totally actionable with the how. You can set aside 20 minutes a day, join a book club, or even just listen to audiobooks. Boom! In just those 3 steps, you've gone from a simple opinion to a structured, pretty compelling case. Now, this last tool is a bit of a secret weapon, especially in a professional setting. When you're faced with a problem, this formula completely changes the game from just complaining to actively problem solving. So you start with the cold hard facts. Our project is 15% behind schedule. Then you move to the reasons. And that's because of some software bugs and delays in getting the assets we need. And then, this is the crucial part, you end with solutions. So let's dedicate a developer just to bug fixing, and let's set a new firm deadline for those assets. This structure instantly transforms you from the person who just points out problems to the person who solves them. All right, Section 3, building the habit. Because, look, having a toolkit is one thing, but making it second nature, that's the real goal. This section is all about how to turn these frameworks from things you have to consciously think about into an unconscious instinct. And this really brings us to the heart of it all. The real thing holding you back, it isn't some lack of natural talent. The real barrier is just a lack of consistent practice. It's all about a mindset shift. You have to stop telling yourself, oh, I'm just not good at speaking, and start telling yourself, I am actively practicing how to speak more clearly. Seriously, that mental flip, it's everything. So what does this practice actually look like in real life? Well, here's a simple regimen you can start today. First, build your courage. Just practice speaking up more, even when you feel nervous. It helps you build that poise.
Second, retell stories. Summarize an article you read or a video you watched out loud. Yeah, maybe talk to the mirror or even record yourself to hear how you sound. It works. Third, use that fragmented time. You know, your 10 or 20-minute commute. Use it as a little mental gym to practice these frameworks in your head. And finally, find your team. Join a supportive group where you can practice without being afraid of messing up. Because, progress really does love company.
And that brings us to Section 4, Your Voice Clarified. Let's bring all of this together. We've talked about the problem, we've built a toolkit, and we've laid out a practice plan. This final part is all about cementing your new identity as a clear, logical speaker.
So let's just redefine what it even means to be a great speaker. It's not about having the biggest vocabulary or using all these fancy, flowery words. It's just about structure. It's that simple. When your thoughts are organized, the right words they just follow. Always remember this. Clarity is a result of logic. It is not a performance. And that really leaves us with one final question. You now have the tools. You understand that your mind isn't this fixed thing. It's a resource that you can direct. Your thoughts are literally your toolkit. So, what are you going to build with them? A more persuasive argument at your next big meeting? Deeper connections with your friends? Or maybe just a more confident version of yourself? The blueprints, well, they're yours to draw.